There are seasons in your life that feel confusing, delayed, uncomfortable, quiet. You look around and it seems like nothing is moving. Doors close, plans shift, people fall away, opportunities stall, and you start asking yourself, did I miss something? Did I fail? Did I fall behind? But what if this is not a setback? What if this is a setup, not an ordinary setup, a holy setup? There's a difference between being stuck and being positioned. When you're stuck, there is no movement. But when you're being positioned, movement is happening beneath the surface. It may not look dramatic. It may not feel exciting, but alignment is taking place, and alignment always comes before acceleration. You think you've been delayed. In reality, you've been redirected. You think things are falling apart. In reality, they're falling into place. You think you're losing ground. In reality, you're being moved to higher ground. The problem is we often judge progress by visibility. If we can't see it, we assume it's not happening. But some of the greatest shifts in your life will happen in private, quietly, strategically, intentionally. God does not waste seasons. If He allowed it, He's using it. That job that didn't work out, it protected you from a ceiling that was too low, that relationship that ended. It removed a distraction from your destiny, that delay that frustrated you. It was buying time to build capacity inside you. Because elevation without preparation becomes destruction. You are not just being blessed. You are being built. There's a massive difference. Blessings are given. Capacity is developed. And if God is preparing to move you into something massive, He must first ensure you can sustain it. Success without character collapses. Influence without discipline corrupts. Opportunity without maturity overwhelms. So before the massive move, there is a molding process. And that molding process feels uncomfortable. It feels like isolation. It feels like confusion. It feels like waiting. But waiting is not wasted when it is intentional. Waiting strengthens your patience. It sharpens your discernment. It clarifies your motives. You used to want success for validation. Now you want it for impact. You used to want attention. Now you want alignment. You used to chase doors. Now you wait for confirmation. That shift is evidence of positioning. God doesn't promote people who are desperate for spotlight. He promotes people who are anchored in identity, and identity is forged in quiet seasons. Look at your life carefully. Notice the subtle changes. Your circle has gotten smaller. Your standards have gotten higher. Your reactions have gotten calmer. Your prayers have gotten deeper. You don't respond to chaos the way you used to. You don't panic the way you used to. You don't explain yourself the way you used to. That's not coincidence. That's conditioning. You are being conditioned for something greater. Massive moves require massive stability. If you were launched too early, you would crumble under pressure. If you were elevated too quickly, you would trust applause instead of purpose. If you were promoted without refinement, you would repeat old patterns at a higher level. So instead of rushing you forward, God is strengthening your foundation. Foundations are invisible. Nobody celebrates foundations. But without them, nothing stands. The holy setup often looks like subtraction before addition. People leave. Comfort zones dissolve. Familiar routines shift. And it feels like loss. But subtraction creates space. Space for new connections. Space for bigger opportunities. Space for clarity. You can't step into a massive move while clinging to a minimal mindset. And that's what's changing in you. Your mindset is expanding. You think long-term now. You consider legacy. You care about peace more than popularity. You value growth more than comfort. That's preparation. And preparation always precedes promotion. You might feel like you're in a holding pattern right now. But pilots don't circle without purpose. Sometimes they circle because the runway is being cleared. Sometimes they circle because timing matters. Sometimes they circle because visibility needs to improve before landing. You are not circling aimlessly. You are waiting for precision. God is strategic. He doesn't move randomly. He positions carefully. The conversation you had last month, the random opportunity that appeared, the unexpected skill you're developing, the sudden interest in learning something new. These are not coincidences. These are clues. Clues that something is shifting. Clues that the next chapter requires new tools. You're being stretched because the next level is larger. You're being challenged because the next assignment is heavier. You're being refined because the next room is influential. And influence magnifies everything, both strengths and weaknesses. So weaknesses must be addressed before visibility increases. That's why this season feels intense internally. You're confronting habits you once ignored. You're facing fears you once avoided. You're healing wounds you once buried. Healing is not optional when you're being positioned. Unhealed wounds sabotage massive moves. God loves you too much to let you carry old pain into a new platform. So He's cleaning you up internally before elevating you externally. That's the holy setup. You thought it was stagnation. It's strategy. You thought it was silence. It's sequencing. You thought it was loss. It's leverage. Something massive is on the horizon, and you can sense it. That quiet feeling inside you, not anxiety, but anticipation. Not fear, but expectancy. That's not imagination. That's alignment. When preparation meets timing, acceleration happens quickly. And people will look at your life and say, that happened overnight, but you'll know better. You'll know about the hidden work, the unseen tears, the disciplined mornings, the lonely nights. You'll know that overnight success was built over time in obscurity. Massive moves don't start when doors open. They start when character is formed. Right now, you are being trusted with development. Development doesn't feel glamorous. It feels repetitive. It feels stretching. It feels uncomfortable. But comfort doesn't produce capacity. Pressure does. Pressure reveals strength. Pressure exposes cracks. Pressure demands growth. And you are growing. Your emotional intelligence is increasing. Your spiritual awareness is sharpening. Your patience is deepening. Your confidence is stabilizing. That's evidence of positioning. You're not the same person you were a year ago. You react differently. You speak differently. You think differently. You see differently. That transformation didn't happen by accident. It happened because you were being prepared for impact. And impact requires alignment. The holy setup is happening right now. Even if you can't see the full picture, even if you don't understand every shift, even if the path feels uncertain, trust the positioning. Because when the massive move happens, it won't just change your circumstances, it will confirm your growth. You won't just step into something bigger. You'll step into something that matches who you've become. And that's the key. God doesn't elevate you to impress others. He elevates you when your internal structure can sustain the external blessing. You are closer than you think. This quiet season, it's the calm before movement, the training before promotion, the setup before the shift. Stay disciplined, stay aligned, stay focused, stay grounded, because when the door opens, and it will, you won't be scrambling to prepare, you'll already be ready. This is not random. This is not accidental. This is not delay. This is the holy setup, and the massive move is coming. Let's slow this down. A holy setup is not emotional excitement, it's strategic alignment. When God positions someone for a massive move, He doesn't just change their location, He changes their capacity. And capacity is built in hidden seasons. Right now, you may feel like life is pressing you. Conversations feel heavier. Decisions feel more serious. Distractions don't excite you the way they used to. You're outgrowing environments that once felt normal. That's not boredom. That's expansion. When your spirit expands, your old surroundings start to feel small. You start noticing things you once ignored. You start questioning patterns you once accepted. You start craving depth instead of noise. That's positioning, because the next level of your life requires a different version of you. And here's what most people miss. Elevation is not about opportunity first. It's about identity first. If your identity is still fragile, success will control you. If your identity is still insecure, influence will expose you. If your identity is still dependent on validation, promotion will corrupt you. So before the massive move, God stabilizes identity. That's why this season feels internal. You're being forced to confront, why do I want what I want? What triggers me? What insecurities still drive me? Where am I still seeking approval? That inner work is not random. It's reinforcement. Because when you step into something massive, pressure multiplies, visibility increases, expectations rise. If you haven't done the inner work, you will collapse under external weight. So God strengthens you privately before displaying you publicly. Look at the patterns in your life right now. You've probably experienced unexpected separation from certain people, delays that frustrated you while have closed doors you thought were perfect, a sudden desire for discipline, a deep craving for peace over chaos. Those aren't punishments. They are filters. Not everyone can go where you're going. Not every habit can survive where you're headed. Not every mindset fits in the next room. So pruning happens. And pruning feels like loss until growth appears. Let's explain this clearly. Massive moves require massive trust. If God is about to move you into influence, expansion, or leadership, He must know you won't compromise when pressure hits, that you won't fold when criticism comes, that you won't forget humility when applause grows. So He tests consistency, not to fail you, but to solidify you. Consistency in private is proof of readiness in public. That's why this season might feel repetitive. Wake up, work, pray, grow, learn, repeat. It doesn't look dramatic, but repetition builds strength. Athletes don't train once. They repeat drills until their muscles respond automatically. In the same way, you are being trained spiritually and mentally so that when the massive move happens, you don't panic, you perform. And here's something powerful. The holy setup often comes disguised as discomfort, because comfort keeps you static. If you were fully satisfied where you are, you would never stretch. If everything was easy, you would never expand. If nothing challenged you, you would never develop resilience. Discomfort is divine pressure. Pressure creates diamonds. Pressure builds muscle. Pressure reveals flaws that need correction. And correction is mercy. It may feel like things are being stripped away, but sometimes subtraction is protection. You don't see what you were being shielded from. You don't see the misalignment that would have cost you years. You don't see the distraction that would have delayed destiny. But God sees ahead. Positioning is about timing and placement. Even a talented person in the wrong environment struggles. Even gifted people fail when misaligned. But when timing and placement align, momentum becomes unstoppable. That's what's building. You're not just being prepared for something bigger. You're being aligned for something precise. The conversations you're having now are sharpening your perspective. The solitude you're experiencing is strengthening your independence. The responsibilities you're carrying are increasing your endurance. You may feel stretched, but stretching increases reach. And here's the truth. Massive moves rarely look massive at first. They begin as small shifts, a new habit, a new connection, a new opportunity, a new idea, and suddenly momentum builds. People will call it luck. They'll say you were fortunate. They'll think it happened quickly. But they didn't see the setup. They didn't see the discipline when no one was watching. They didn't see the nights you chose growth over comfort. They didn't see the times you stayed quiet instead of reacting. That restraint, that maturity, that focus, that's positioning. And here's what you need to do in this season. Guard your mindset. Massive moves require mental strength. Stop feeding doubt. Start feeding vision. Stay consistent, even when you don't see results. Especially when you don't see results. Refine your character. Integrity matters more than talent. Remain humble. Promotion follows humility. Prepare as if it's already on the way. Because it is. The holy setup is not hype. It's a process. And if you feel pressure stretching, pruning, isolation, discipline rising inside you, that's confirmation you are being positioned, not randomly, not accidentally, not emotionally, strategically. The door will open. The shift will happen. The acceleration will surprise you. But when it does, you won't be shocked. Because deep down, you'll recognize it. You'll say, this is what I was being prepared for. This is not the end of your quiet season. This is the final stage of reinforcement before movement. Stay steady. Because the massive move isn't just coming, it's forming right now.